A new report examines religious persecution around the world, and it has some troubling findings. 67% of the world's population live in countries where religious freedom is being violated. That is according to Aid to the Church in Need's annual report on countries experiencing discrimination. 9 African countries appeared on the list for the first time, showing an increase in extreme persecution in the continent. Joining us now with more insight is Marcela Szymanski, editor-in-chief of Aid to the Church in Need's 2021 Religious Freedom Report. She is also their advocacy officer at the European Union and the United Nations. Marcella, welcome back. Always so good to see you. In this year's report, can you talk to us about what's new and also what stayed the same?
Well, one of the main findings that we have is that we are surprised to find that there are a total of 62 countries identified having strong violations to the fundamental right to freedom of religion. So in these countries, there are close to 5.2 billion people. So we believe that it is intolerable that 2/3 of the people on the planet cannot confidently live according to their faith and personal convictions. Also, we were shocked to discover the consolidation of the Islamic State, which traveled to Africa, revealing that they recovered what they had lost in Syria and Iraq, which is new members, huge resources, and more importantly, territory. In Mozambique, in the last 2 months, they took 2 ports, and they now control the access to a large natural gas processing center. That is really one of the main findings. What remained the same? It looks alarmingly similar. The map that we make with the worst offenders, it looks like all the other human rights offenders in the world. However, we have a real regret to say that everybody who was doing bad is now doing worse. So we definitely need to do something about it.
Marcella, I also understand the report also references the dangers of artificial intelligence and mass surveillance. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the artificial intelligence applications that we so joyfully accept from our smartphones and Alexa are used in China and other authoritarian states that have bought the technology, and now they are being used to control the spiritual choices of their citizens. They have an electronic cards system that rewards people for going to church less often or to their temple less often. For example, they get rewards like better prices on trains and flights. So this way, they have found the most perverse way to drag people out of their source of hope and their religion. This technology is being bought even in places in Latin America right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I also know that Pope Francis has described a rise of polite persecution in Western countries. What do you think he means by that?
Yeah, this is occurring mostly in Western countries, but also in countries in the entire Americas, we regret to say. We have heard the Pope referring to new laws that cut out the freedom of the believers almost without noticing. Mostly, this is by discriminating in favor of the non-believers. This reveals that more governments in the West ignore their own international engagements with the 18 international human rights treaties, all derived from the UN Declaration of Human Rights. They attempt to make hierarchies of human rights to say this one is higher up, this one is lower, this one can disappear, etc., which is totally not unacceptable because these are individual human rights to which they subscribe. So the governments do not know anymore what it means to be secular and forget their obligation, the obligation to keep the public space open for all. They have to keep the public space open for those with a religion and also for those without any religion. And that is what we have to always remain vigilant about.
Well, Marcella, thank you so much for speaking with us today about this very important subject. We really appreciate it. Marcela Szymanski, editor-in-chief of Aid to the Church in Need's 2021 Religious Freedom Report. Thank you again.
Thanks to you, Tracy.